Hello and welcome to Thursday's edition of Movie News here at MBE. Thank you for joining us once again here on our YouTube channel and our Twitch channel. I am joined as always with John C. Walsh, hosting solo shows every Wednesday, folks, doing a grand job covering all Star Wars news, apparently. I think we might have to bring back the First Friday show, John. I think you covered quite a lot of Star Wars news last night, by all accounts, but we're not getting Star Wars news tonight.
Some shite Star Wars news as well.
We are, of course, talking James Bond. The trailer did drop today, John. We have recorded our trailer reaction, which will be up on the channel later on, but it's a machine learning AI has cast Henry Cavill as the next James Bond. After considering a lengthy list of actors, the first ever AI-assisted casting process. They're doing everyone out of jobs these days. Determined Henry Cavill is the best pick for James Bond. The rise of the machines, John. And if AI casting has its way, Henry Cavill would be James Bond. In a new study conducted by Largo.ai, AI software was used to compare an actor's attributes and Bond's attributes in order to best assess which performer would earn the most positive audience reactions. Wow. When it comes to British actors, Henry Cavill won with a score of 92.3%, followed by Richard Armitage at 92% and Idris Elba 90.9% with
I call him Idris.
When expanding the study to international actors, The Boys star Carol Urban topped the list with a whopping 96.7%.
And if you have watched The Boys, you will know he does a mean English accent, but it's a Cockney accent. So.
Well, which puts him firmly ahead of Henry Cavill. Right behind Urban was Chris Evans 93.9% and Will Smith 92.2%. For the sake of exploring all options, the study also considered actresses for a female Bond, with The Mandalorian's Gina Carano coming in at 97.3%, ahead of both Cavill and Urban. She was followed by Katie Sackhoff at 94.4% and Angelina Jolie at 94.2%. Now, John, it's very interesting, but obviously it's as an AI machine. Henry Cavill, well, I think he was up for the role. It was between him and your man Daniel Craig back in 2005.
Was he up for it then? Yeah.
Yeah, and it came down to those two, and I think obviously, well, I know Daniel Craig got the job. I'm not that much, away from the sort of Bond sort of arc or anything like that. He definitely was James Bond, but it does make you wonder, though, doesn't it? You know, if the paths went in different directions, Henry Cavill did become
Daniel Craig became Superman.
Low cut neck, Nick Cage, hairy chest, wasn't he?
5'10".
Yeah.
Daniel Craig becomes Superman. He's far too small.
Yeah. I think it all worked out well in the end for both actors.
Christopher Reeve was 6'5".
John, obviously Henry Cavill. We'll talk about him anyway.
Yeah,
exactly, 6'5". Bit of a gap.
It's like a baby. Little baby Superman.
Yeah. Super baby. Henry Cavill, John. As much as it would be very interesting to see him in this role, he's obviously very busy just now with The Witcher, and it still looks like he's going to be playing Superman for a little while longer. Fingers crossed anyway.
I hope so.
Is he an actor you would like to see in the Bond role, though?
Stephen, I think he's certainly capable of playing James Bond for sure. He is tall, he's English, he's got the jawline.
Yeah.
He can wear a suit. Not that being English is a prerequisite for being James
English
Bond.
At times, it's funny.
Yeah, well, is he English? He may be Welsh.
Is that not Christian Bale?
Yeah, Christian Bale would be a good Bond as well.
Accent.
I'll need to search that up as we speak here, actually. Henry Cavill, I'm pretty sure he's just says British. I'm sure if he was English, he would say English. He was born in Jersey, so it's a bit of a grey area, that one, but I'm going to go with English.
I think they only say British when it's Jimmy Savile.
Yeah. That's twice we've mentioned Jimmy Savile on this show in subsequent days. We best not go down that route, Stephen.
He was trending today.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. They dug him up again. Oh, dear. But yes, What a start to this show, man. Wow. Baby Superman, Jimmy Savile. Wow. But certainly he's capable of playing it, Stephen. He has the stature, the physique, but more importantly, he has the acting chops as well. This is a man who can definitely deliver a nuanced performance, which is always required for James Bond. James Bond's not like any other action franchise. It's not just... Yeah, he never dies. But it's not just an action movie. It has little droppings of drama and other little bits of subgenres in this franchise. So you have to have an accomplished actor playing the title or role. That's why they've obviously plumped for Daniel Craig originally, because he is a really talented actor. We've seen it in the likes of Knives Out, that one where he lost his entire family and he was bunkering down in the family household. That was a really beautiful movie. So, and he had long hair at that point, incidentally, so he could have done the Nick Cage Superman thing, after all, in an alternate universe. So he was a really talented actor as well. It was a fine choice. I don't think, in hindsight, Stephen, I would have went back and changed Henry Cavill for Daniel Craig. I think Daniel Craig's been a pretty good fit.
He's solid,
007.
Yeah.
Dapper guy as well. I'm slagging him for being 5'10". I'm smaller than Daniel Craig. I can't slag anyone. He wears a suit really well. We've seen it in that trailer we just reacted to, Stephen. I've seen it in his theatres last night as well. He wears that grey suit just immaculately. So I can't imagine anyone else having played the character for the last 10 years or so. And now we do have to move on. It's very interesting, the whole AI thing as well, because I think I read somewhere that some of these studios, perhaps Universal or something, or Warner Brothers, were toying with the idea of using algorithms and stuff to pick out actors for roles. I'm sure I may have made that up. I may have went full Tenet again, algorithms in my head, but I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere. So this is intriguing. This may be the future, where they get a database of actors, sort of accumulate all of their traits, what they're good at, and then they sort of put in parameters for a role like James Bond, and they get their list of top actors, and then they can then go in and obviously audition these individual actors for the role.
I think part
Henry
of the
Cavill would do well.
Would actually have to have the actors scheduling.
Yeah, of course,
You know, involved in it as well, though.
But it's interesting. It shows you the future, Stephen, because we are dabbling more and more with AI and with computer stuff.
Yeah.
They're taking over jobs. They're sort of taking over infrastructure in general and
They'll
society.
be writing the stories soon, John.
They will be writing the story soon. We'll have a much colder and worse world for it. Although if you follow the latest crap about Christopher Nolan, you'd think machines are already writing movies, because apparently his movies lack soul. A lot of crap that is. But look, I'm not going down that route, Stephen. The other possibilities you look at, what was the second top one? Idris Elba.
Richard Armitage.
Richard Armitage would be an intriguing one. I've never really seen his name coming up. We have seen the likes of Sam Heughan, fellow Scotsman. Richard Madden was another one. And these are guys who, again, all different shapes and sizes, all hugely accomplished actors. The other one that was coming out was your man from Beauty and the Beast, Luke Evans. And he's, again, 6'1" or something like that. Big guy, wears a suit well, great actor. Charismatic as hell. And look, Stephen, I think he's actually gay as well, so they could maybe slant it in a different route if they want to go down that route and maybe diversify the James Bond thing instead of the Bond girls. They may want to go down that route and do something different with the character, bring it into the 21st century, because we're always saying representation. We want to see every facet of society being represented, so that could be a route they could go down with that character if they want to perhaps choose. Luke Evans, not saying that they have to typecast him in as being a homosexual James Bond. I mean, he can be straight just because he, you know what I mean? You don't have to sort of follow a rigid structure.
Of course you don't.
But Stephen, there's a huge variety of possibilities. One possibility we definitely aren't going to have, though, is Gina Carano, because the producers, Barbara Broccoli, can't say that name, went all Stephen King there. Pictures as director, and I kind of liked it. Barbara Broccoli has come out and says, absolutely not a chance in hell will there be a female 007
I saw that
James
in the
Bond.
article, John,
We're not getting a Jeanette Bond because he's a male.
Jane Bond.
Yeah, Jane Bond, that's better. Because he's a male character, and they're going to continue on following the male sort of character path for James Bond, and rightly so. You don't dabble, just like you don't dabble with Gandalf and stuff like that.
I was going to say that, John. We did cover a show a couple of years ago, which got a good reaction, actually. You know, I think most people were on the same side of the fence as ourselves, that, you know, if it's more interesting to create fresh characters going forward, I think, rather than change the character's sex.
You're not doing the female the female actors again. What does that even mean? You're not doing the actresses any favours by forcing them into a male
No.
a historically male character. You just create a new franchise, a better version of Charlie's Angels or something for a female actor. Bring in a really talented actress. Don't make it all sort of airy, superficial shite.
Yeah.
Give us some meat to the bones, drama elements and stuff like that. What they're doing with Bond, and even now Mission Impossible 2, it's starting to do this. And then bring in the right actor and it could work. But Stephen, I'm completely sidetracking, man, here. I'm getting off the rails completely. The whole show's been off the rails, in a sense. Whole lot of possibilities for James Bond moving forward. I'm not averse to Henry Cavill coming in. The only thing I would say, and I kind of agree with you as well, you mentioned The Witcher as a Superman thing.
He's a busy man.
I don't want James Bond being played by Henry Cavill if it means sacrificing Superman.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill playing Superman.
not
If
The
you were
Witcher.
to give me a 50-50 choice, I'd pick Superman all day long.
What
over
if you
James
had
Bond.
to give up The Witcher though, John?
Wouldn't really care. I've not
No.
watched The Witcher, Stephen, so it's not really even in my hemisphere.
I watched a few episodes, but it was far too slow.
I need to
for me.
watch it because he
Yeah.
did train really hard. I
A
watched
lot
his
of people
workout
like it,
video
John.
for it.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it shows, and Stephen, again, that shows you the dedication of Henry Cavill, the workouts he does. It's all regimented to
John, as you remember
working
as well,
on sets and stuff.
when he temporarily stepped away from the DCEU as well, and he went and did this crazy unknown Netflix series. People thought he was mad.
Yeah.
People thought, oh, who does he think he is? You know, that he thinks he can just pick up anything and make it
Henry
successful.
Cavill.
He has. He's made the show a success. And it's
And he
all,
was in Mission Impossible as well, Fallout. Very good in it.
yeah.
Showing that he
Well,
can wear a suit and he can do
Yep,
action.
exactly. That's what I was going to say, John. There's your perfect audition,
Yep.
you know. But we'll move on anyway.
Yes.
We'll see how that goes anyway. And as I said, our Bond reaction is coming up on our show later on tonight. Put the pressure on you, John. We'll just move on
don't worry
to
about that.
our next article. Natalie Portman is in Australia. G'day, mate. Reportedly to begin filming Thor 4. Thor 4. Natalie Portman
Oh, you were
arrives
doing an Australian
in
accent there.
Australia with her family,
Thor, mate.
reportedly to begin work on Thor Love and Thunder. That's its title, not
Yeah.
Thor 4. I hate saying that's too. It's a difficult way to say it.
Yeah, you know.
In which she becomes the female Thor. Now, John.
No, Sid Thomas.
Portman's greatly expanded role as Jane Foster /
Whoa,
Thor
getting the intro
in
again here.
Love and Thunder was revealed back in 2019, but
Shambles.
there hasn't been a lot of news since then about either her or the movie. Now, though, the Daily Mail, your favourite newspaper, John, reports that Portman has arrived with her family in Australia. She can't just be there on holiday, surely. And
Well, she's very early.
and are saying it's to begin work on the movie, though there has been no confirmation on this or indeed on when the movie is supposed to start filming. Great journalism once again, dear
Someone
man.
should notify Taika Waititi that Natalie Portman's in Australia.
She's waiting, Taika, come on.
He's still in New Zealand, I think.
She probably thinks it's just over a bridge, you know.
It's
But,
not meant to be shooting till
Yeah, I
next
mean,
year.
there's a few pictures, John. I don't know if you want to get into this. Few shots of her, obviously, in Australia. I can't actually find it, but I probably wouldn't bring it up because I can't find it either. But it says images of Portman and her children arriving at the airport. I can be seen here. It's a link. I'm not clicking on it because I know what site it's going to.
Daily Mail.
I'm not going there. So
Right wing rag.
anyway, the point, John, is though the point of this article, which I picked up on, is we haven't heard a lot of news about this film so far, and obviously it's because production has not went in full flow yet. But great to see Natalie Portman back in the Jane Foster role. We haven't seen her since 2013's Dark World, I want to say. Well, no, sorry, tell I. She
Endgame.
was a little cameo in Endgame.
Yeah.
She didn't actually have a speaking part, but I was very happy to see her because it confirmed that she was back. Because Endgame did come out before the Phase 4 announcement, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it was good to see her in that. And at first I thought, is this an actual deleted scene? Because I don't know if they've got Natalie Portman back. I don't know if she wants to come
I think
back.
everyone
you know?
thought that.
Yeah,
at the
so
time.
it was very brief. I think maybe Rocket was in the same scene as her. I think he was trying to steal from her or something. I can't remember.
I think Rocket may have been away doing something else. I think
Yeah,
it was
one
Thor
of
who
the-
went
He
in.
was obviously getting one of the stones.
No,
but
it may have been Rocket. It may have
I
been
think
Rocket.
it was Rocket.
Thor was speaking to his mother.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all teary-eyed. But yeah, I mean, it's great to see her back. Jane Foster, she was a big part of those first two films, John.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say she was sadly missed in Ragnarok because we were taken off to a different area, you know, in the universe, and the story wouldn't have suited, obviously, having that kind of connection with Thor and
I much
you know,
prefer
Jane
having
Foster.
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, and his gold suit. But what's your take on this, John? It's a bit of a pointless article, really, isn't it?
Not at all, Stephen. It's shown once again that there's signs of hope for Thor: Love and Thunder, that production is going to be rolling on very, very soon indeed, and that Taika's going to start directing this movie, and we're not long after that going to get some shots, snippets, teasers in the form of maybe a trailer teaser, a teaser trailer, just shots from behind the scenes in general. We've seen it with the Batman. We're absolutely infatuated with just looking at little behind the scenes shots and stuff like that, and as soon as this movie gets into production, Stephen, that's going to start happening. The reason I was joking that she's perhaps a bit early is because they do say in this article that I think it was actually Natalie Portman herself says that the movie was scheduled to start production early 2021. So she's way early. She's about 5-6 months early. So maybe if she's just going out there to acclimatise herself with a family, rooting down for a little while, getting away from the lunacy of Donald Trump's presidency, waiting to see if Joe Biden can come in. Don't know if that's going to be any better. I'm not getting into US politics, but a guy with clear cognitive decline, he's still got to be better than Donald Trump, let's be honest. So maybe she's just getting away from that shit show, the coronavirus being terrible over there. Come to Australia, but it's a little bit more controlled, and then she'll settle her feet in, and then once they start production, she's already used to being in Australia, and she's got a family there. They're not up sort of rooted and stuff like that. I'm excited though, man. I really can't wait to see this movie. Can't wait to see where Taika takes it. I can't wait to see what he does with the Jane Foster character. Is she going to have the cancer plotline from the comics that sort of makes her into the Mighty Thor? Or will they go and diverge into a different route? Whatever, could it be a parallel universe connected to the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness? Or she is a different Jane Foster from a different universe? That's why she has Mjolnir, because in that universe Thor's actually died. She has assumed the role of Thor. She can then wield Mjolnir. She's worthy. There's different timelines. There's different possibilities for the character. It's utterly fascinated to see which one Taika picks. And look, whatever one he picks, we are going to have Chris Hemsworth as the main character in this movie. He's already come out and stipulated that it's absolutely a Thor movie. Chris Hemsworth is Thor. It's going to be about him. It's going to have all the laughs and jokes we've had before. There's going to be more Korg. I'm really excited for it, man. I can't wait. And the sooner they start shooting, the sooner we get it.
Guardians will turn up as well, John?
What's that? The Guardians could.
Yeah.
Could, Stephen. I read an article, actually, an interconnected article, why this could be so important for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, because this could lay down the foundations of what we're going to see in that story. If it takes place prior to the events of Guardians 3, could be that we have Gamora or something flitting in and out of this, and it may have ramifications for that movie. It may be that Star-Lord, Rocket Raccoon and Drax and all that, the antennae women, whose name I always forget.
So does Rocket.
Yeah, Rocket. Maybe that they pop into the story and then it connects into a sort of duology with Guardians 3, because the humour's so similar.
I never actually considered that as a timeline, John, where the actual Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 takes place before Love and Thunder.
Or vice versa.
Yeah,
because Stephen, you think of the tone, they're so similar in tone. Taika's humour blends so well with James Gunn's.
Yeah.
Comedic stuff so similar. They're not like any other.
You remember when James Gunn was off the third film? They were considering Taika Waititi, but he was so happy when he came back, not because he didn't want to kick or anything like that, or live up to it, because he would have certainly lived up to it anyway. There's no doubt about that. But I think you're right, John. I think it's just that friendly rivalry between both of them. They've got such similar personalities and similar humour as well. So it's interesting.
It is, Stephen. Look, I can't wait to see it, man. I really can't. The sooner, as I says, it gets into production, the ball gets rolling, the sooner we get to see this movie, the sooner Taika moves on and does a Star Wars movie as well, because he's a busy man as well. You were speaking about, obviously, Henry Cavill being incredibly busy, having a really packed schedule. Taika Waititi's the same. He's just he's fingering so many pies. So get eating the pies and stop fingering them, Taika, and we can all be happy.
Who ate all the pies? Taika. Anyway, we'll move on, John, to our next topic. It's Agent Smith was supposed to return for The Matrix 4 Hugo Weaving reveals that Agent Smith was supposed to return for The Matrix 4, but scheduling conflicts
Stephen, I missed
prevented him from...
Great chance here with the Forehammer behind you. Not once did I go.
reprising the role. This is in a recent interview with Coming Soon. Weaving talked about his involvement with the fourth Matrix film and reveals that he did come close to returning, but ultimately was not able to make things work schedule-wise. Weaving says he was contacted by writer-director Lana Wachowski early on, and even got as far as doing a reading alongside Reeves and other actors. This is an article from Screen Rant, by the way. Yep. Though he admits he had issues with the script, Weaving says he entered negotiations to appear in the film and was trying to work out scheduling conflicts with his work for the National Theatre in London, but says Wachowski herself finally elected to move on. This is what he said: "I thought we could have done my scenes in May, June and July, and we talked about money and we talked about they were negotiating, and we were all pretty much sorted and agreed on the dates, and it was all fine. But then Lana decided she didn't think it was going to work, so she pulled the plug on the negotiations. That's where it ended up. She basically didn't feel that my commitment to the National Theatre was going to fit in with the dates that she had in mind for me." One of the things I liked, John, about the news coming out about The Matrix 4 was that Agent Smith was not going to be in it.
Yeah.
I might be going against the grain and with a lot of people here, but they need to do something new with this franchise.
Yeah.
And as much as I love Agent Smith and as much as I love Hugo Weaving playing the role, I mean, he was amazing in that first film. Kind of watered down, I felt, in the second and third one.
Yep.
Not as much of a presence. I think it was more of an annoyance in the sequels rather than, a powerful presence like he had in that first movie. I'm glad to see they're going off in a different direction now. I know they talked about Neil Patrick, I don't know that guy's name.
Patrick Harris.
Patrick Harris, that's it. Playing an agent. I don't know if I want that. I want to see something different. I really do want to see something different in this fourth instalment. What's your thoughts, John?
Stephen, I'm disappointed that also they couldn't come to an agreement, because I kind of agree with you. They do have to go off and differentiate it from the original trilogy, but at the same time, man, if you've got the opportunity to bring Hugo Weaving into the movie, it seems foolish not to take him up on it, and to do it over something as silly as perhaps the date's not quite meshing. If you have to bend around Hugo Weaving's schedule to get him in a Matrix movie, then I would have thought Lana would have been more sensible and actually try to accommodate the guy, because he is such an iconic character. But Stephen, I agree with you as well. Maybe it's for the best that it didn't work out like this, because there's talk. We don't know what the story is just now. Even now, we don't know if it's a prequel, a quasi sequel, something taking place in an alternate universe or something like that within another Matrix. We don't know, but if it is a prequel, which is heavily rumoured, and we are getting a recasting of the Morpheus character, it would make sense for Neil Patrick Harris to be playing another iteration of an agent, and that we don't actually have Agent Smith in the fray.
I don't want to see an impersonation though, John.
No, I don't want to see him impersonating Hugo Weaving. That would be terrible. If they had the opportunity to bring Hugo in and they never took that chance. I keep saying Hugo, I'm going to go to me, Stephen, because I've been absolutely hammering you in this show tonight. I'll give you a chance to cool down a bit, because it's incredibly warm in this room. But I digress.
Got a bit of a shadow there. Yeah.
I don't want to see an impersonation of Hugo Weaving. That is absolutely god awful. No chance. Neil Patrick Harris is his own man. If they are indeed making him an agent, and look, we don't know as of yet whether it is indeed the case he will be an agent, but if they are, then it makes sense in a prequel setting to make him a different type of agent, because there was different agents in the first Matrix movie until he became a sort of Agent Smith. And I always found that funny that he spoke about humanity as being a sort of virus. They're like no other mammal on the planet. They corrupt their surroundings, they replicate until they destroy and take all of the natural resources. And ultimately, Agent Smith became the very thing that he detested in humans. He became a corrupted version of this machine mind, this hive mind. So that was beautiful, but there was different versions of the agent prior to that. So it's not out with the realms of possibilities that Neil Patrick Harris could indeed be playing an agent prior to Agent Smith.
Yeah.
And again, it just gives us freshness. I mean, I love Hugo Weaving, but if he can give his own unique take, his own unique idea of a villain, then maybe interesting, man. But I just still, for the life of me, don't know how this is going to work, and it really does annoy me that they're bringing back all of these other original characters, the likes of Jada Pinkett Smith and stuff like that. They're all coming back, I think Yaha Mateen Singh, was he in the original one? I don't think he was he? Was he in the original Matrix? I need to search that up. But they're bringing all these original guys back. We're not getting Morpheus coming back.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me. I don't understand it, and it annoys me. But at least we now get an out because we're not getting Hugo Weaving either.
Yeah. But like I said, John, this might be their opportunity to go off and do something different, because I don't want to see them doing the same thing again. I think as audience members and obviously the filmmakers, we've all experienced
he's an incredible newcomer.
The diminishing returns of the sequels. You know, I know that you liked Reloaded. Some of it was okay.
Just the twins.
It was actually on Sky Movies a couple of weeks ago, and I was watching the highway scene again.
Yeah.
It's aged terribly. It really has, you know, but you can't hold that against them. But I want to see them doing something fresh, and if that means we're not getting Agent Smith and that means we're not getting Morpheus either, then they have to. The hand is forced, more or less, and it's not a bad thing. It shouldn't be taken as a negative. Perhaps, you know, Lana Wachowski has got an idea where to take this and make it into another trilogy, perhaps, you know.
Yeah, and Stephen, I was about to say that if it is indeed another trilogy, there is nothing to suggest I'm doing Stephen King again here. Yeah. That Lawrence Fishburne can't come back at some point in the future and portray the character. Yeah. It could be that he's recast as a younger version. They're having to maybe get back and do a sort of time heist to save him. He's in trouble, to reset the course of the original timeline. Maybe it's just wiping out those god-awful 2 movies that came after the original. I think if
Neo could do that, he'd have took the other pill. But we'll move on, John. We'll see how that goes anyway.
I'm rewriting it, Stephen.
I've got to be honest with you, I'm a big fan of Hugo Weaving, but I think I've seen enough of him within those 3 films as that character. I don't know what else they can do, to be honest with you. But we'll move on. Chris Nolan, he wants to see John David Washington as the Green Lantern. Tenet director
Everyone
Christopher Nolan. I'm thinking of the lager. The director Christopher Nolan wants to see John David Washington take on the role of Green Lantern in future DC movie or TV show. I prefer a movie. The DCEU has gone in a completely different direction since Nolan's days working with Batman, but he's still interested in seeing his Tenet star play one of the characters. In a virtual interview promoting Tenet, Geeks of Colour asking Washington if he would be interested in playing the Green Lantern. Must have come out of nowhere, that one. Washington diverted the question to Nolan, who expressed that Washington would be an excellent choice for the Green Lantern role. What is your take on this, John? You have just seen this man in action last night in Tenet. How was he in that film, and how good would he be as the Green Lantern?
Stephen, he was absolutely amazing in the film. Superb, alongside Elizabeth Debicki and Robert Pattinson. Sublime. Every time I see this guy, he is fantastic, man. I loved him in Black K Klansman, the great Spike Lee movie, alongside Adam Driver. He's got charisma, oodles, if that's even the correct word. He just oozes charisma. I'm going to search oodles up and see if I used that correctly in a moment. But he's a great actor, man. I love the guy. He's hilarious at times. He can do everything, man. He can do drama. He can do action. He's brilliant. I'd absolutely love to see him playing Green Lantern. If it indeed is it the Green Lantern, actually.
It's a Green Lantern,
you see, I don't know much about Green Lantern, Stephen. I know you have watched
the
animated shows and stuff like that.
I did see the Ryan Reynolds one back in 2011, but
I've seen that as well. But I'm trying to wipe that out of my brain,
with
Stephen.
his virtual suit on. But hopefully they don't do that with this chap. But
Stephen, he'd be a great choice. He really would, because it'd lend some seriousness to the character as well. If you're bringing an actor of that calibre into the role, then it's showing that you mean business.
Yeah.
We're done with that joke version. Not to say Ryan Reynolds is a joke, but that version of a character was a joke. That story was a joke. It would lend some authenticity, I want to say, to the role, if that's correct.
Yeah.
Because he's such a good actor. He's widely respected by just about everyone in Hollywood, seemingly, because he keeps getting big roles and stuff like that. Whether he wants to do it or not is another thing entirely. Whether he sees his career, the trajectory taking him on a path where it's going to be Green Lantern, is another thing entirely. He may want to go and continue working in big drama movies, big action thriller movies like Tenet.
But if you're getting a director who's worked in that world before, John, actually putting them forward, you've got to take notice of that.
Yeah.
Now, interestingly enough, John, this was actually part of that interview as well, but on another sort of discussion about Christopher Nolan and his DC involvement. This was the same interview, Geeks of Colour. Nolan and John David Washington discussed the director's latest mindbender, Tenet.
Yeah.
Near the end of the interview, Washington was asked about his popular fan casting as Green Lantern and whether or not he'd be open to joining the DC universe. So it was actually the fan casting that sparked this question in the first place. Washington deferred to Nolan. Ask him, he said, this a naturally proposed idea of a Nolan-directed Green Lantern movie, to which Nolan merely laughed before saying, I think my DC days are over. I don't want to hear that. Yeah. No.
But I think I agree. Yeah. He's just going in a different path, Nolan.
Yeah.
He's becoming more and more, how shall I put it? What was the name of that when this avant-garde? He's almost becoming a sort of avant-garde. He's dabbling with time concepts and stuff like that.
Original concepts. Yeah,
he's doing like Tarantino. He doesn't want to go and do pre-established franchises. He's got a brilliant mind.
He's done it.
Unique cerebral way of telling stories that confuses the hell out of some people and captivates other people. Sort the sound mixing out though. So I don't think he'll ever direct a Green Lantern movie. I don't think he'll come back to a superhero movie in general. But I would love to see John David Washington in the role. It's maybe the one thing that's missing. I'm doing a sort of comic book role. I don't want him on TV though. He's better than TV.
I agree, yeah.
It's like Boyega saying, you're not getting me on Disney Plus. And even Oscar Isaac saying, you're not getting me on Disney Plus. Certain actors at certain points in their career are above sort of streaming service TV shows, and I think John David Washington at this moment, he's like that. His trajectory was like coronavirus in April, way up. He ain't going to a TV show. If he's doing it, it'll be a huge blockbuster. It's part of a greater sort of story in the DC EU, if that's such a thing anymore. But Stephen, final thing I'll add, man, on John David Washington, pole game off the charts, man, in Tenet. John Smedley poles, wow, guy's dapper as hell, man. Suit pole, he made Patterson look bad. And Patterson never looks bad, but he made him look bad.
Just get him a green one then, he's fit for the role, John. But we'll move on to our final topic today, tonight, whenever you're watching us. It's Total Recall returns in 4K for its 30th anniversary. 1990, I remember going to see this film, John. I didn't have to get my ass to Mars to go and see it either. And this was there's an actually exclusive trailer which I did watch earlier on today, John.
I've not seen it.
It's maybe catch up on it after we do the show, but soon you'll be able to enjoy the 1990s Total Recall in a brand new scrubbed up 4K reissue for its 30th anniversary and all its gory glory. Based on Philip K. Dick's short story We Can't Remember It For You Wholesale, strange title, it's a tale of meddled memories, virtual vacations and Arnold Schwarzenegger on the rampage on Mars and beyond, packed with explosive action and classic kiss-off lines. Watch the trailer for the reissue exclusively at Empire. This is obviously coming in from Empire, clearly. And there's obviously,
website.
When you do watch it, there is a brief glimpse of Johnny Cab as well, John. Just talking about Johnny Cab, that's staying in this 4K version. Not like the robot in Rocky 4. Don't know if you read about this. They're taking that whole thing out. Happy birthday, Polly. I'm shocked and stunned and annoyed at that. I'm really annoyed. That was the highlight of Rocky 4 for me. That robot with the big eyes, big bug eyes, that Polly actually changed into a woman, didn't he?
Yes, she did.
But we're not talking about Rocky 4 director's cut here. We're talking about Total Recall, John. I saw the remake of this, the one with your man that's playing the Penguin, Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell, yeah, it was terrible.
And it
wasn't terrible.
I don't think it was that. It was bad. It was just, you're going to make the comparison with the Arnold Schwarzenegger one.
It's like I keep saying, Stephen, a movie of its time.
Yeah,
and when you try to remake it, it's impossible because the key ingredients of the movie was the era it came from, the wackiness of the action back then. Such a charismatic one-off of a leading man in Arnold Schwarzenegger. The amazing one-liners that only that mad Austrian American guy can deliver. Get your see you at the party, Richter. Get your ass to Mars. He's dead tired. I'm transitioning over different movies here.
That's Commando, yeah. That's what I said, Columbo. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Just one other thing.
That would be amazing. In a trench coat, a guy that build in a trench coat just wouldn't look right.
Try into that car,
looked like Crichton, with the trench coat on.
And we can't forget when we're doing one-liners of Schwarzenegger. I was in water swimming. I'm Hercules. I was swimming in Savata. So if you take that out and you put in an Irish actor like Colin Farrell, as good as he is, it ain't ever going to work.
Consider the voice. That's the other one.
Stick around.
Yeah. It's not a tumour.
It's not a tumour. Now we're going to play a game of who's your daddy and who does he work for.
Get to the chopper.
Mike!
Is this something, John, is this something you'd actually like to see? Because we did miss out on the 4K version of
Is it
Terminator
coming out
2.
in the theatres?
It just says it's coming out.
Stephen, I'd love to go and see it in the theatres. I've never ever seen Total Recall in the theatres.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a classic Schwarzenegger, 80s, 90s, whenever this one came out. I'm pretty sure the 80s.
It's a
1990.
It's a Blu-ray, DVD
30th
and digital
anniversary.
release. Yeah, five disc 4K Ultra HD collector edition.
I'd still like to see it coming out in the theatres.
Yeah.
If the
A limited run, yeah.
Yeah, a limited run. Just to
when
get
I
to
say
see
limited, I don't mean one day like they did with Terminator 2 here in Glasgow, which was an absolute joke.
Yeah,
Because I found out about it, I think it was the next night it was on. Didn't have a lot of time to obviously prepare for it, but I'd have loved to have saw it because I did see some trailers for it.
Yeah.
And it looked absolutely stunning, like it was only filmed yesterday.
And yeah,
but 30 years old this film is.
And obviously sorted out CGI stuff and stuff like that as well. The horrible stunt double.
Yeah.
The issue with the windscreen, I think, as well, on the truck, that blowing out and then coming back or something like that. So it's little things like that. They get to iron out all of those little issues from these movies and just make it like it was shot, as you said yesterday, a 30-year-old movie. And Steve, there's something about movies from this era that just seem to age better than the god-awful CGE obsessed early 2000s.
John, you'll see that this is aged brilliantly.
The practical effects, the mix of practical effects like Die Hard and stuff, they just age beautifully. Terminator was the same, aged beautifully. There's something about the era, it works. I mean, you tart it up like this in 4K, it's brilliant. I'll probably buy this in physical form. I like to buy classic movies. I don't have a Blu-ray 4K collection as such anymore. I just keep the likes of the Dark Knight, the Lord of the Rings, Star Wars and stuff like that. Yeah. The bigger releases that I care about, Back to the Future, I'd put that up there, man. This was a great movie. I loved it. Hilarious. Filled with action, blood, guts and gore, the lot, man. But what I digress, I'm done.
So man. And I hope something else is trending on Twitter now.
Yeah.
That was a terrible start to the show.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Jimmy Savile. I mentioned him last night as well, Stephen. They were speaking about Yoda doing what he loves best, being around younglings.
And on that note.
Oh, wow. Yoda's a pedo. Look, I digress. We are going to end on that note, guys. What do you make about this AI machine suggesting that Henry Cavill should be the next James Bond? Do you agree with it? Do you think James Cavill, do you think Henry Cavill should be James Bond? Who do you think, if you don't agree with the AI machine, should be James Bond? Do you have a different suggestion? What do you make about Natalie Portman buggering off to Australia in the middle of September, beginning of September?
Start of summer.
Yeah, 2020.
For Australia.
Yes, well, that's why she's there then. We've answered our own question. That's why she's there so early. She's getting a tan before she shoots Thor: Love and Thunder. What do you make about the whole Hugo Weaving fracas over him not getting cast as Agent Smith in the upcoming Matrix 4 and the rest of the topics? Do you think John David Washington should play the Green Lantern in this potential movie that's coming up? And the Total Recall 4K remaster. If you've got anything to say at all, guys, about any of the topics we've touched upon on the show tonight, you can comment below and let us know what your thoughts are down below in the comments section. You can also like the video if you've enjoyed it, and you can subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. If you do, you'll see us back tomorrow. I don't know if we'll be doing a review. Probably not, Stephen. We may not bother and do a Tenet review early next week instead. We'll decide, and you'll see tomorrow, guys. Bye-bye. Maybe. No, not working. There you go. Bye-bye.
Bye.